morning. That is a pile of horseradish leaves. That is a walking weed eater. If you remember, up next to our greenhouse, we had a big black bucket with horseradish in it. That's the bucket. Let me show you some of the little out of breath because it's the same thing we had with those trees yesterday. These horseradish have been in this bucket for 3 years, and if you look carefully down in, you can see there's a lot of root system in this bucket. Not only that, the roots grew right through the bottom of the bucket, and now we have horseradish here and over here. If I can move these out of the way, that there is a big horseradish root. Some smaller ones over there. I've got to dig all this up. Ruthie wanted to harvest some, and there'll be plenty to harvest. There's some horseradish over there. Like I said, you got a big bunch here and a big bunch here. All those big tap roots are going to have to be dug up. I don't know if you can see them too well with the sun shining so brightly. And I've got all these in this bucket. We grew them in the buckets so it would be easier to harvest. But we didn't expect 3 years to go by because of my lower abdominal infection that first year. And then my hip replacement this last year. And recuperating this year, we're finally getting to the horseradish and the weeds. We've showed you in some of the other videos how the rabbits and guinea pigs were eating the weeds down. They're doing a good job around this greenhouse area, but not fast enough. So I've got to get the horseradish out of there. I gave them the leaves for today, what they don't eat, and they dry up tomorrow. I'll finish putting in the burning cage. Now, I burnt that cage down yesterday. That went quite fast. Probably was up in about a half an hour. And I'm filling her back up again. I still got all the weeds up there around the bees I've still got to get cleaned out of there. If I can get the greenhouse and the bees cleaned out before snow falls, I'll be a happy camper. But this slowed me up because now I've got to harvest horseradish I didn't plan on harvesting yet. This is stuff, once I get the roots up, I can cut the green off, put that back where the rabbits can chew on that until tomorrow. And the horseradish, I will just shake the dirt off them. You don't want to wash them. Just shake the dirt off them, put them in a clear Ziploc bag, maybe a gallon bag, and then you put them in the refrigerator so that it makes them go dormant. And then in the spring you can plant it. Or what I'm going to do is, well, let me go back a minute. If you put it in a Ziploc bag and put it in the refrigerator, you can also harvest it and do it in the middle of winter for making your own horseradish or horseradish sauce. But for me, I'm going to take some of the nicer roots, replant them in this black bucket, and then harvest what's left and let the bucket grow it up for another year. But next year all I have to do is dump the bucket out or dump it in the cement mixer, which I use for my garden. Let the cement mixer knock the dirt off and everything, pull the roots out of it, and then reuse the soil. Add a little bit of maybe peat moss or something to it so it's a lighter soil. But that's my job for today. If I can get the horseradish up and bagged up and everything, and I can continue picking these buckets up, and you can see the mess I've got on the outside of the fence. I still got to clean up. There's broken buckets that are going in the garbage, and the good buckets are going back in the greenhouse, which will be, once we get the rainy season, which is coming up this October, I can work in the greenhouse cleaning that mess up too. But I can do that while it's raining with the cover of the greenhouse, which is nice. But right now, while we've got sunny days, we're getting our outside projects done. And you can see the maple trees, how the leaves are turning upside down. My dad was a logger, and he said whenever the maple tree leaves turn upside down, you got rain coming. If you look at other trees, their leaves don't turn upside down, just the maples. So you can tell when you're a logger or a lumberman, you can tell the weather by just being out in the woods. And I was always told when the leaves turn up, you've got rain coming. Doesn't mean it's coming today, but it's calling for rain. Alright, I just wanted to show you my little broadcast of the horseradish. This is 3 years growth. Now the height of those were only half of the height of these. These were probably 4 feet. I clipped them all off and threw them in a pile. And between the bunnies and the burning pile, that's going to take care of that mess. Alright, I'll finish my break and then we'll go back to digging horseradish. I hope you enjoyed this. Maybe it was, if you got any questions, feel free to ask and we'll try to get back to you on it. Alright, this is Clay from Popel's Backyard Farm. Join us again. And just remember that you too can have a small or a large backyard farm. Bye-bye.